guys, we are here at opening night of Halloween Horror Nights 30. You're not going to be seeing much of me tonight. I'm going to show mostly what's going on at the event. Hopefully go through all the houses, all the scare zones, see all the shows. We have Express, so hopefully that'll work out. We're here, it's about 4 o'clock. We're here early for Stay and Scream, so before we do that, let's head into the tribute store and see if there's anything new. So just about a week or two ago, they opened up the Halloween Horror Nights tribute store, which has become a tradition and favorite of many Horror Nights fans and Universal fans in general. So let's head in there and see what's going on in there. I came in here last week, but I didn't actually get to make a video about it. But as you first enter through the facade, come into this first room, which unlike most of the tribute stores in the past, this tribute store is a pretty connected theme. There's not like one theme per room. It's all pretty different as you go through. Hey, you're good. Oh, sorry. A lot of the merchandise in here is just generic Horror Nights merchandise. We see some new phone cases that weren't here this time last week. It's hard to see because it's kind of dark in here, but there's some new phone cases. I'm sure there's some new shirts and pins and stuff. Here in the second room in the tribute store, it's more so themed to the icons. Of course, when you first walk in, you see a huge portrait of Jack the Clown, who is the main face for this year's event and has been for many Horror Nights in the past. Also in this room are some busts and some portraits of some of the other icons, such as Chance, Caretaker, and some of the other ones as well. The third room in this store mainly features Beetlejuice merchandise. The room itself isn't really themed to Beetlejuice, but it's pretty much what you'll find in here. Of course, it has the color scheme, the green and the purple all over the room. And then you hit this final room with a lot of the merchandise you've already seen, like the main shirts, pins, cups, stuff like that in this last room. And then you go into the snack room, which has a pretty long line right now, so we'll check that out another time. And this machine here is new. You can get some big coins themed to Horror Nights, and some of the things, like there's one of the tribute store, one of Jack, one of the Wicked Growth, and then one of Frankenstein's monster. The final thing you see as you leave is the Shady Brook reference and also a Carrie reference here. Apparently this was used in a house in the past, but that's the last thing you see, and then you exit the tribute store. So this year, there's only 2 Stay and Scream locations, at least for today. Springfield, which is a pretty popular one, and I think it will be the popular one this year because Springfield will let out into Beetlejuice and also Haunting of Hill House. Then there's the one that I think is typically at Finnegan's, I believe, and that will probably come towards the front of the park to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Icons Captured, and Bride of Frankenstein Lives. So we're going to go over to the Springfield one, and we're just going to wait there till the event starts. Up above is some pretty dark rain clouds forming. Not too many, but the opening night of Horror Nights is kind of infamous for being a rainy and stormy night. It is raining pretty heavily right now. This is the line for the Stay and Scream area in Springfield, about 4 o'clock, so about an hour prior. It goes all the way around through Central Park and into the Simpson Springfield area. That's a lot of people, so we're gonna go ahead and get in line now. Way over across the water, you can see the other Stay and Scream area. That's for the front of the park, houses. It looks just as crowded as the one over here. There's going to be a lot of people here tonight. All right, it is 5:40. We are heading towards our first house of the season. I had to put away the camera because it is raining pretty heavily right now. Hopefully later I'll be able to get my camera back out, but for now I'm just using my phone. We're heading towards Welcome to Scary. First house of the night, Welcome to Scary. Okay, so we just got out of Welcome to Scary, based on the town of Cary, Ohio, which has been in a lot of the past houses of the event. It was pretty good. I probably rated it a 7 out of 10, mainly because for the first little bit, it was really hard to understand what was going on. It was a lot of just the atmospheric stuff, I think. But the last half was really awesome with HR, Blood and Guts, and a bunch of other things you might recognize from events past, especially if you've been coming to the event for a while now. It was a good house. I think it was the very first run they did, so I think it'll get better as time goes on. But yeah, now we're gonna go do, I think we're gonna go do Wicked Growth. Okay, so last time that I was on here, it was during the day. Stay and Scream had just happened. A lot has happened since then. Well, it's nighttime, as you can see. Scare zones are up and running. It's no longer really raining at all. And I've actually done 7 houses already. Done Wicked Growth, Scary, Icons, Haunting of Hill House, Puppet Theater, Bride of Frankenstein Lives, and Welcome to Scary, I think, is the one I didn't mention so far. And in that time also, my camera got wet, and even though it's my backpack, so I can't use that the rest of the night. So this vlog will be a little less quality than I started with, but we're still gonna try our best. Gonna review the houses I've done so far in just a little bit, but I just came back from changing. We're starting fresh for the next few hours, and so let's see what we can get done the rest of the night at Horror Nights.
Time has come. Oh, it's only movie.
It's a very crowded night. It's sold out actually, but that's to be expected the first night of Horror Nights. The event runs till 2. It's about 10:20 right now. 3 houses left to go. I haven't seen any of the scare zones yet except 30 or 30 Fears. There are a lot more food booths and food tents this year, but the lines are still relatively long tonight for all of them. At least they have more than normal. The lines are still pretty long. Alright, we're heading into Texas Chainsaw Massacre right now. We're going to use Express because it's a 60-minute wait. So we're in line now for Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's a little difficult to figure out where to get in line because there's a sign, and then right behind it is Jimmy Fallon. So you have to walk through the Jimmy Fallon entrance, and then you'll find where you get in line for both Express and Standby. Jack the Clown. Okay, so we just got out of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It was actually pretty good. I had it pretty low on my list of hype list for the event. It's still not anywhere near the top. It's pretty gross, but it was pretty good. And it was much better than I expected, and it seems like it'll only get better throughout the season. Alright, getting in line for Case Files Unearthed, Legendary Truth. Case Files Unearthed was incredible. That was probably number 3 or 4 on my list so far. That was incredible. That was by far the best Shrek house I've ever gone through. By the way, if you go to Mel's Die-In, as it's called during Halloween Horror Nights, they have just cups of water just sitting on trays for you to grab. It's important to stay hydrated during this event. There's a lot of walking involved. It's a long event, and it's still pretty hot outside, so definitely do that. All right, we're heading into our final house that we have to do, at least for the first time. There's several I want to do again, but we're gonna head into Beetlejuice right now because we have not done that one yet. And it says it's only a 30-minute wait, so that's awesome. Okay, so just finished Beetlejuice, which has been one of my most anticipated houses, as I said before. It did not disappoint. It wasn't very scary, but it was a lot of fun, and that's all it was supposed to be. It's definitely not in my top 4 or 5. I think it's probably around number 6 on the list. And with that, that's all 10 houses completed. I'm gonna try to do a couple of them again. Probably the Icons house, maybe Wicked Growth. Check out some of the shows and the scare zones now. It doesn't appear in the Simpsons area that there are the typical chainsaw characters roaming around. There's usually like an unofficial scare zone here in the Simpsons area. I like those projections up there, the lighting's cool. They don't seem to be around, at least tonight. Maybe that's due to the weather, but I don't see them around, and that's disappointing because it was always fun to see people get scared when they were least expecting it. And on the official maps and everything, the Simpsons ride wasn't listed as a ride that was open this year. Usually it is, but it wasn't listed. But it is open here today with a 15-minute wait. Probably will just be open on peak nights, but I thought that was interesting to see and to note. So I think I'm going to go to the 12:30 showing of Halloween Nightmare Fuel. In the meantime, I think I'm going to take a walk around the park, check out some of the scare zones. We've already been in 30 Years, 30 Fears in Gorewood Forest. So I want to check out Crypt TV, Lights, Camera, Action, and then Seek and Destroy. We just got done seeing Halloween Nightmare Fuel, which the show was incredible. The incredible production value, choreography, pyrotechnics, everything was incredible about that. Definitely not for kids, which I've honestly seen a lot more young kids at this event this year than ever before, which is astounding to me, but you know what, not my choice to make. But anyway, definitely make time to check out Halloween Nightmare Fuel. It's a very good show, a very high production value. And with that, we're actually going to head out of the park for the night, I think. Start making our way to the exit because we have a Behind the Screams tour in the morning, and then we're coming back tomorrow night. Okay, so because the camera stuff happened earlier with the rain, I never got to talk about seven of the houses. So just wanted to run down my thoughts on a few of them before I head off to bed. First, Wicked Growth was incredible. It was phenomenal. It's, I believe, my number 2 or number 3 house. I'll rank it in a bit. Lots of scares. The scares were great. The setting was awesome. The characters in it were great. And then after that, I did Puppet Theater. Puppet Theater was good, but it's towards the bottom of my list, mainly just because of the story and just the execution. The scare actors were great. There were some scares, and it just wasn't one of my favorites. So then I went to Haunting of Hill House, which has been one of my most anticipated of the year, along with Beetlejuice and Icons. I've actually been watching the show on Netflix because I had never heard of it prior to the announcement of it for this event. And I went through and I thought it captured the show perfectly. The essence of the show, the mood of the show, and I thought it was amazing. And that's what I'm for sure going to go back through tomorrow. And then I did HHN Icons, which is for sure my #1 house so far. I just loved every part of it. And of course, I'm sure that has to do with me being a Halloween Horror Nights fan. It's very much fan service, but I think new people to Halloween Horror Nights will find just as much to love as some of the HHN veterans. And then I did Revenge of the Tooth Fairy, I believe was the next one I did. That one was okay. I think it was my least favorite. I don't know. I didn't find much to be scared of in that house, and I didn't find a real desire to go back through it again. And another one, so Revenge of the Tooth Fairy was open last year, and so was Universal Monsters The Bride of Frankenstein Lives. And I've been very excited about The Bride of Frankenstein Lives because I loved the previous Universal Monsters house, and I didn't get to go through either of those last year. And so I did The Bride of Frankenstein Lives, and I loved it. I loved that house. I thought out of all of them, other than maybe Icons and Hill House, I thought it was one of the ones that had like the best production value, the best sets, the best props, and just everything about it was awesome. I loved that house. It wasn't my favorite, but it was high up on the list because it was really good. All right, well that's gonna do it for a very eventful opening night of Halloween Horror Nights 30. Thank you all for watching this far, if you did. And tomorrow, hopefully my camera will work. I've left it out to dry in the hotel room, and we'll see tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, I'm going on a behind the screens tour at 9:15 a.m. If that camera doesn't work, I have another camera we can use, and then I'll be back for the event tomorrow night. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, have a magical day.